Well, hello! Since it's October, I thought it's about time that I tell you about my summer vacation. So, in the beginning of the summer, I went on vacation with my family to Colorado. We left bright and early in the morning and we spent our day driving across Kansas, and we got there around dinner time. The hotel that we stayed in that night was kind of sketchy, as when we got there, the door to our room was just open and the room attendant's clipboard was just kind of sitting in there. We woke up in the morning, ate breakfast, and then headed to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. The zoo was pretty great. I think my highlight was probably petting a giraffe. It's so weird. After walking through the entire zoo, we decided to go up the mountain to see the Will Rogers Memorial Shrine. As soon as we reached the top of the mountain, we heard tornado sirens drifting quietly up the mountain. But since we were already kind of on top of a mountain, there was really nowhere for us to go. I mean, driving back down the mountain would cause problems because we're heading towards the tornado. And I also did vlog a little bit of it, despite not vlogging anything else. So we're on top of a mountain, and we're under a tornado watch. Actually, I think it just ended, or tornado warning. Yeah. You can hear the thunder though. It's kinda awesome. After the tornado siren stopped going off, we finished looking around the giant castle thing on top of this mountain, and then we just kind of went down the mountain and continued on our day. We headed towards the Helen Hunt Falls next, which is this really pretty waterfall that's actually free, because a lot of the waterfalls around Colorado you have to pay to get in. After all that, we just got a little bit of lunch, and then we headed off to get our cabin that we stayed in. We arrived at the cabin around dinner time. We'd already picked up our food at Walmart, as you do. And as soon as we pulled into the driveway, snow was just drifting down, and it was really pretty. The next day we tried to go to Garden of the Gods, but there were way too many people. Then we ate at one of my favorite restaurants, the Hungry Bear. It's pretty great. It's got like this bear theme, so there are like bears everywhere. So after eating, we headed to the Dinosaur Research Center, which was really cool. That's where I got this tiny little dinosaur. After the research center, we drove to the fluorescent fossil bed. The next day we went to Cannon City in Florence, and then we drove to the Royal Gorge, which was pretty awesome. And while we were at the Royal Gorge, we actually found some of these keys in a rock, and we figured out who they belonged to and gave it back to them, so that was pretty awesome. If you're watching this, person who lost their keys at Royal Gorge, and you remember this lovely face bringing them back to you, I'm really glad we found you, because I would have felt terrible if we just left the keys there. Then after all that, we drove to Cripple Creek to look around, and then we went right back to our cabin. The next day we went to the 11 Mile Canyon, or at least that's where we were trying to head. We ended up at the 11 Mile Reservoir first, but then we found the canyon later. That's the day we ended up going back to Garden of the Gods and actually got to look around and walk around. Then on Thursday, we drove to Manitou Springs. Now, we went to Manitou Springs to buy our tickets for the Cog Railway so we could go up Pikes Peak, but we couldn't go because there was too much snow. Instead, we ended up stumbling upon a penny arcade, which was the coolest thing ever, because if you don't know what a penny arcade is, it's basically just a whole bunch of, old-time video games, arcade machines and such, and pinball machines, and weird things that you can, buy for a quarter and everything. I failed miserably at Donkey Kong, and I was the only member of my family that didn't get on a leaderboard somewhere. So, my family's better at video games than I am. After we dragged each other away from the arcade machines, we headed to Old Colorado Springs. There we ate at a French bakery. There was also a British store, which, in the video that I'm going to post on Wednesday, you'll be able to see me eating some British snacks that I got. And if you wonder why I'm at home in that video, it's because I filmed it in the summer. So, on our last day, we drove back to Old Colorado Springs, and we ate lunch at the French bakery again. After that, we got to go to the North Pole theme park. It's a little known fact about me that I'm actually a 5-year-old residing in a 19-year-old's body. This park is made especially for children. It's all themed around Santa Claus and the North Pole, so you can expect the age range. Let this be a lesson to you. You are never too old to get into kiddie theme parks and have a good time, and to make it completely full circle. Thanks, universe. We went to Mueller State Park and climbed up on top of a mountain. Granted, a much smaller mountain than the one we've been on previously. But as we were climbing up the mountain, a storm was coming towards us. Just great memories from, the last time I happened to be on a mountain to, this time that I was on a mountain. And yeah, the next day we headed back home, and that was my vacation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I try to keep it as short as possible, but I had to scrunch an entire week of activities into one video, and I had a lot of weird video footage to show you, so I hope it worked out. If you liked me and you'd like to see more of me on your screen, feel free to hit the subscribe button. You can also like this video if you liked it. You can follow me at any of the social media below, and comment on this video if you've ever been on top of a mountain during a tornado. But yeah, until next time, bye! This is also the trip that provoked me to tweet this tweet about all the different kinds of weather. We were really rolling in the different kinds of weather there.